guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be reviewing Oasis' 4th studio album, Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. And before I get into this review, I want to make a couple things very clear. First of all of this is just my opinion. Please don't get angry or offended at what I'm going to say in this review. And second of all, I know that there's a lot of people who really love this album, and also a lot of people who hate it. And I'm definitely not in either of these categories. And I just want to get out there and say that if you really love this album, like I was just watching a video of a guy ranking the albums and was talking about how much he loved Go Let It Out, which I'll get into. You know, good for you, that's cool. I'm just happy that you like a band that I like, you know. Cool mutual thing. I'm not trying to, shame you for liking this album, but I'm going to explain why this doesn't work so well for me, and try to put that into context. It's kind of hard to explain. First of all, this cover is drop-dead gorgeous. I mean, the fact that it's just a view of Manhattan with a sunset or sunrise, I couldn't really tell you what, is absolutely incredible. My disc spindle's broken in here, but I digress. I definitely got this used somewhere for cheap. I don't even remember. I think I had to order this, because I don't see this at my used CD store. Which, is probably because this album didn't do that well in the US, and most people had already lost interest in Oasis. So, I'm guessing that's why I never see this album whenever I'm browsing used CDs, but I had to order it. But yeah, I miss when CDs had quality photo books like this. Like, this paper is really high quality, actually. And I really like Liam's hair in this era. I saw the video for Go Let It Out. He has a really nice hair. It's kind of long, and I like him with long hair. He looks good. But, yeah, I'm stalling. Let's get on to the actual album already. I really should stop stalling at this point and get on to the album, the boring album. In theory, this album should be very interesting, actually, because, this marks a lot of things for Oasis. This marks the departure of 2 key founding members, Bonehead and Giggsy, leaving the band with only 3 members, Noel, Liam, and their drummer, Alan White. This marks the first time Liam Gallagher ever wrote a song for Oasis with Little James. This marks a more, psychedelic direction for the band, even compared to their older songs, and when they started sounding very notably Beatlesque, instead of just name-dropping the Beatles. This album is actually a decent length compared to Be Here Now, too. It's only 49 minutes, and in theory, this should work really well, or at least be an interesting disaster, but it's not really either of those things. It just ends up being mediocre most of the way through, and that's unfortunate. And, yeah, this might be my least favorite Oasis album. I'm really gonna have to re-listen to Don't Believe the Truth and Dig Out Your Soul in order to give that verdict, but as far as the ones I've listened to for this review series, this is definitely the weakest one. I'll get the score out there right out of the way. It's a 67, and I know that might sound harsh to some of you, but there's just so many songs here that are just boring to me, or I just don't care for. And again, I'm not trying to talk trash on the band or anything like that. They're literally my favorite band, and they have so many great classic albums, and you'll see when I get to the next album, they did pick it right back up after this. I really love Heathen Chemistry, and that's something that I will get into. But I'm sorry, this album has so many issues, but they're not as obvious as Be Here Now's issues. Be Here Now had 2 really obvious flaws, which was A, the songwriting, and B, the length. This doesn't really suffer from either of those. The songwriting's okay. It's not Morning Glory levels, but I actually think it's pretty good, and there's some songs here that are really well written and personal. And the production's a lot better than Be Here Now as well, and like I said, the album's a serviceable length, so ideally this should be better than Be Here Now, but I'm sorry. It just has no energy to it. Whereas Be Here Now is that one album where it still feels like a classic Oasis record. It's just pumping adrenaline into your veins most of the time. This album just doesn't do that, and I'm sorry, something about it just bores me, and I think I realized what the real kicker of this album is. God, Liam sounds checked out. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, he just sounds bored and like he doesn't want to be there for the majority of this album. And I want to be very clear that I don't know what was going on in Liam Gallagher's personal life at the time. Noel's definitely back on his writing game after his burnout phase for Be Here Now. But I mean, obviously here we are, and I feel like even extroverts like Liam Gallagher can get burned out after many years of success, and, other things may have been going on in his life, who the hell knows, and, all of that's totally valid, but God, it just makes him sound checked out. And because he's not the one writing songs, he doesn't really translate any of that angst into the songs. He just sounds like he doesn't want to be there most of the time. There are a couple of notable exceptions to that, and I'll get to those. And to be fair, Noel doesn't really sound like he wants to be here on one of his songs either. But, yeah. So, the album's just kind of a really interesting thing. Basically, it was released 3 years after Be Here Now. They didn't release this album until the year 2000 because they had some tumultuous stuff going on. Like I said, they were basically on the verge of breaking up. Bonehead left. He wanted to spend more time with his family, which is fine. I'm not sure why Giggsy left or if he was fired. I'm not really sure what happened. Some conflict of interest, I'm assuming. They also got a new producer for this, Spike Stent, to replace Owen Mars. You can definitely tell it's a new producer. And I don't really have an issue with most of the production on this album, other than it just feels like it lacks a bit of energy. Noel Gallagher basically took on a lot of secondary guitar duties as well as, you know, the main lead guitar in the absence of the other members. There's a bunch of session musicians on this album too because there's a lot of psychedelic things, there's a lot of like orchestral parts. And yeah, that's basically where we're at. And that's all cool. This was kind of a weird transitional phase before they got their like later lineup certified. Once they recruited Andy Bell and Jim Archer, you know, they kind of had their, like, later lineup, which was a lot more egalitarian, where you had Liam writing songs, you had Andy writing songs, you had Jim writing songs. It wasn't just Noel anymore, and it was a very different dynamic for the band, and we'll get to that with the next album, but this was just kind of this weird middling time. And I think a transitional project is how I would describe this. In the grand scheme of Oasis discography, this is an extremely transitional project from their early glory days to their late period softer yet still surprisingly decent body of work. And here we are with Standing on the Shoulders of Giants, and it's just kind of this awkward place in the middle. So, the album starts off with a fairly decent instrumental called Fucking in the Bushes. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with that title, but okay. It's literally a vocal sample from an old news clip of some event where somebody was reporting that there were kids running around naked, fucking in the bushes. That's literally the sample for this, and the rest of it's just instrumental with a nice bass rollick and some good guitar on it. It's actually one of the better songs on the album, which is weird to say, but it has a lot of energy to it, and it does definitely give that kind of late 60s kind of vibe, but with the like harder rock bands of the time, and I like that. And then we get into Go Let It Out. This was the lead-off single for this album, and I know a lot of people really love this song, as I was literally just watching a video of somebody who was saying how much he loved this song. And listen, if you love this song, good for you. I'm totally happy for you, but I'm sorry, this song is just really kind of mediocre. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, it's got a decent hook, although it does get kind of repetitive, but man, Liam sounds bored on this. I do really like that one part where the Builders of the Destiny part, vocal melody there. I really like that with the Mellotron as well. I fucking love Mellotrons. I've had an affinity for that ever since I first heard Strawberry Fields Forever. I'm a huge Beatles fan. I've probably made that clear. I literally have this that I just got, so like, I probably always have some form of Beatles merchandise or Beatles-related thing at an arm's length at all times. You know, I could keep talking about the Beatles, because, you know, that would be interesting. I could keep talking about good music or interesting music. You guys should really check out my White Album video. It's really good. Anyway, as far as this is concerned, like, I'm saying with that Mellotron and stuff, I definitely get those vibes. Liam sounds okay, and the verses are okay as well. It's just really kind of mediocre for me. Who Feels Love is the next song and the next single, and this one, speaking of the Beatles, this sounds like a George Harrison cut from, like, 67 or something, and I can definitely say, quality-wise, I put it somewhere below With Any Without You and above Blue Jay Way. At least it has more energy than Blue Jay Way, but, yeah. It definitely has that indie-inspired instrumentals, and even the way Liam is singing and the backing vocals and everything about it just sounds extremely reminiscent of the Beatles in this era. Which, again, I'm cool with, because I like 1967 Beatles. Like, a lot. But, at the same time, it just does have the same issue of just feeling sleepy. The fourth song is Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, and this is one of the worst Oasis songs ever. I really don't know why anyone thought this was a good idea, and God, this clanging percussion is annoying. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just the same fucking thing repeated over and over. Liam sounds annoyingly checked out on this album, on this song. Noel is just writing lyrics that are just preachy, which might be okay if they were delivered with any sort of spite or anger or energy, but no, he's just saying them. Liam is just there, just singing the lyrics in the most generic way possible. The most generic Liam Gallagher way possible, I guess. I couldn't really call Liam Gallagher's voice generic, even at the worst of times. But he's just singing the lyrics, and I'm just in a position where I just do not like the song at all. It's not good. I don't really like it when Noel Gallagher starts getting aggressively preachy. I mean, get off your high horse, lady is another one. We'll get to that eventually, but, off of Dig Out Your Soul. But, you know, again, it might work if the execution was better, but it's just so checked out. The fifth song on this album is Little James, which is a song that Liam wrote, and okay, this is also really boring. I don't really understand why Liam thought it was cool to sound checked out on his own song, but apparently he did. I don't know, something about this just strikes me as unenthused. And that's really all I can say. Like I said, the single choices on this album just don't feel good. Who Feels Love is pretty decent, but Sunday Morning Call? Seriously? I know a lot of people like this song too, but man, I just forget how it goes. I could not tell you how that song fucking goes, even when I listened to it multiple times. Noel sings lead on it, and I mean, he's fine, but I just could not tell you. Like I said, the song is so forgettable to me. I'm sorry. Sunday Morning Call is just, it's one of the songs on the second half of the album, and it's just so forgettable. Out of the singles, I mean, Who Feels Love is the best one. Overall, I just don't really know what to say. And again, like, Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is just fucking awful. I don't like it. It just feels really undercooked. I Can See You're a Liar is the penultimate track on this thing, and it's kind of like a better version of Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, which doesn't make it that good. Liam sounds a little more awake, this percussion's less annoying. You know, it's not that bad. I mean, going back to it with Liam, it's not that his songwriting's bad, it's just that the song sounds boring, it's just slow, plodding, it just doesn't really go anywhere. Like, in terms of him writing, his lyrics are okay, his melodies are just not there yet. And don't worry, that is going to change, we're going to see Liam writing better songs in the future. But yeah, man, I don't really know what to say about this. This is just turning out to be really disastrous. Except the middle of the album, and Gas Panic exists, and honestly, I don't even know, like, what I can possibly say about this song, because it is perfection. I'm a little hesitant to call it, like, an 11 or something, but it is so good, and it blows literally everything else on this album out of the fucking water. It's actually crazy. This song is so insanely good, and it's literally, like, a top 3 Oasis song. It's so good. And the fact that people try to claim they didn't have anything good after What's the Story, Morning Glory, have you guys heard Gas Panic? Now, on the other hand, I do understand that this brand of, like, heavy psychedelic stuff is definitely not for everyone, and like I already stated in my Be Here Now video, I really like that sound, and that's why I'm a lot softer on, say, All Around the World than a lot of people are. But I'm sorry, this song is just a masterpiece, and like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to say. It's got this slow build, it's extremely foreboding, you've got this slide guitar, it just goes into this thing, it just builds up, it's got this like insane sense of foreboding. And the chorus is sung, this is one of the couple times on this album where Liam sounds like he's really invested in what he's singing. This is one of Noel's best compositions. Oh my god, the bridge part after, I just love the way it builds up, you know, the second, like, after the first chorus, the second verse, second chorus, it just, like, builds, it's, like, all louder, like, really picks up in the percussion and stuff, and then the bridge part, it's all instrumental, and you've got these, like, crazy, like, weird, psychedelic, like, weird little guitar things, and then you've got the part where it sounds like a siren, you've got the guitar going like a siren, and then it goes off into this, like, solo bit. It's just so good. The whole chorus of this song being "My family don't seem so familiar," and honestly, this whole song is just so foreboding. It's the kind of song which almost strikes you as uncanny, and it's the kind of thing you listen to at that weird time of day in the fall when, like, it's getting dark, but the sun's still up, but it's, like, behind the hill. Maybe I only have that experience because I live in a valley, but the light, it gets really weird, and then there's, like, no one on the road, and you just see that same parked car that's just sitting there with its headlights on, and that's exactly what this song sounds like. I don't know how to explain it any other way. And, I mean, as someone who struggled with mental illness, I can't really relate to this in the sense of, you know, drug use, which I'm assuming, you know, was what was going on in this case, but I can definitely, you know, feeling, like, not like yourself, or just, like, confused, or, like, very, like, just completely, like, out of control of yourself, which is something that I've definitely felt when I've had panic attacks. And I mean, the fact that this song is called Gas Panic, it's definitely something that I can definitely understand and also kind of relate to. But it doesn't hit me so hard in a way, like, Don't Go Away, where it's, like, it makes it hard for me to listen to. This song just is, like, that right spot of being something that just absolutely hits every time. It just bangs. It's such a banger, but at the same time, it's this song which is just, like, very foreboding and interesting. And it's followed up by Where Did It All Go Wrong, which, fantastic song. Noel Gallagher sings lead on this. He sounds great. Again, you've got this song which is just, like, almost like crushing despair, and it's almost like the aftermath of whatever the panic was. And it's almost just like this crushing sense of, oh, fuck, what happened in my entire life? And I mean, whether you're talking about relationships that you fucked up, or addiction, or something that, anything that you've done in a situation, or anytime you get on this, like, course correction and you realize, hey, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And there are definitely times where I have been in that position, where I have been like, oh, what the fuck happened? And, you know, I've had to kind of, like, course correct and be like, hey, that's happened to me, like, twice, where I've had to, like, course correct and be like, hey, like, I don't mean, like, man up, like, that's stupid, because, you know, being feminine is cool, and, there's nothing wrong with men being, quote-unquote, weak or whatever. But, you know, it's that sense where it's like, hey, figure your get your shit sorted out, and it's almost like this self-talk. And, you know, when I've been in that position where I'm like, but you can't, like, you're not in the position where you can really, like, think about, like, you know, what can I do to fix this? It's just, oh my god, what the fuck happened? And you just dwell on, like, the past and whatever happened, and you're just sitting there and thinking about that, and it's absolutely tragic. And, this song encapsulates that so well, and this, you know, 2-track run on this album is some of the best work Oasis ever did, and then the rest of the album just kind of isn't that good. Okay, not fair. I also really like the closer, Roll It Over. Liam sounds awake and interested on this one. The way he delivers the song is just really good. The melody on it's catchy. It's a nice, kind of comforting song. It's a good closer for the album. It's a much better closer than All Around the World Reprise or some shit like that. But yeah, I mean, it's not their best closer by any stretch of the imagination, because Champagne Supernova still exists. But yeah, I really like this one. It's nice. So yeah, as far as the album goes, I mean, I do like Who Feels Love, and I do like Effin' in the Bushes, so I mean, I'd say I like about half the songs here, and the other half just either bore me or annoy the fuck out of my ears. And I don't really know how else to phrase this. I'm still giving it a more positive than negative rating by giving it a 67, and that's mainly because Gas Panic and Where Did It All Go Wrong are so good. And a lot of the songs that are more mediocre just tend to land in the middle, like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. The only songs that I think is really bad on this album is Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, and I'm not a big fan of I Can See a Liar and Sunday Morning Call either. But yeah, this is still a really great, it has great stuff on it. I can't really call this a great album, but if nothing else, go listen to Gas Panic and Where Did It All Go Wrong, because those songs are really emblematic and they're just really good. And I don't really have anything else to say about that, so go listen to those songs. And, yeah, so that's really all I have to say about Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. There's not really much else I can say about it. It's just got this, like, very, like, sleepy, kind of dull nature to parts of it. Parts of it are really good. There's some good songs here, but, definitely wouldn't recommend this as an Oasis album to just, like, listen to. But definitely check it out if you're curious. I mean, you may be one of those people who ends up loving it. And in that case, you know, awesome, more power to you. As far as all of this is concerned, I just want to say, thank you all for watching. And, next time we will pick up with Heathen Chemistry, which is an album that a lot of people seem to really hate. And I actually like. So it's going to be interesting to dive into that. And also just to, like, re-listen to it and really analyze it, look at it from an analytical perspective. So definitely stay tuned for that, and I'll see you all soon. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you all next time with Heathen Chemistry. Goodbye!